Check. Check test. Alrighty. I'm gonna be eating some waffles and drinking some coffee, so I'm sorry, I'm gonna try not to chew in the microphone. So my plan is I'm just going to edit my tutorials, and if you're curious on how I do it, you're going to see I'm going to talk about things that I think are interesting, but please ask me questions if anything. I don't care if it's related to the tutorials or not. So let's see. New. Alrighty, so I gotta find where I put them. I know where they are. Show recordings. Alrighty, so I'm gonna edit both of them in the same timeline. So I always leave this up, and it's because I edit different codecs and stuff, and I'm not sure everything Vegas does to prepare the timeline. It can do things like change it from drop frame to non-drop frame, which can be a really big deal when you're encoding later. So I'm not going to pretend I know everything about OBS's streaming codec, so I just let Vegas handle that. So I just say yes, and then it prepares the timeline. And you can mix codecs and stuff like that, but I just know that the main codec is the one that matters for clarity reasons, and so that's the one I try to cater to. I've seen enough weird stuff to be wary of changing your timeline. So which one is this? This one is Pro. It's gotta be. Let's go to best. Let's see this thing, how it should be seen. And I want some more. I want to see it bigger. Yeah, it's definitely Pro. So it's a tutorial I'm about to release about how to do audio envelopes. First off, what are audio envelopes? Well, they're these. You may have never seen these. Okay, good. Good. Let me get my branding media in here. Again, sorry about the waffles, I'm starving. Okay. So I've done game streaming a lot. Well, not a lot, but much more than I've done editing streaming. And I find editing streaming is much harder because game streaming, you're just like talking and chit-chatting while you're playing a game. But editing streaming, you're actually trying to like work and think about what you're doing and talk at the same time. And I'm difficult. That's difficult learning curve there. So let's see. Throw my Tech Dive Master PNG in there. Let's insert another video track. Boop, there's my intro. Okay, but I'm not saying anything, so let's get my audio levels right. Well, they're these. I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna raise the volume here. I'm gonna do that with a compressor. My audio engineer friend, he's actually doing a lot of different stuff, including videography. We went to the school together. He's got the same degree I do, but he did his specialization in audio editing, and I did a lot of like manual compression with gains and volume, and he was like, just throw a compressor on it. One compressor will really help your audio, because what a compressor does, it takes the ultra low lows and pumps them up, and the ultra high highs and pumps them down. But there's so many fancy ways it does that. So I'm going to go to track effects into the compressor, and I find that the for my Snowball mic, the 10-1 compressor is pretty good. Let me check it. Way to do audio envelopes. First off, what are now the reason I record it so quiet is because I try to isolate the ground floor, so I don't want you to hear my computer humming and everything. I just want you to hear my voice. This is for Vegas Pro 16. I got a movie studio version coming out as well. Okay, so then let's go track effects, and let's raise the output gain a little bit more. So for the way to do audio envelopes, first off, what are audio envelopes? Well, they're these. You may have never seen these before. These are actually really convenient when you need them. So let me show you. Let me turn down my desktop audio a little bit, so that way when you hear my voice and the pop, hopefully it won't hurt your ears as well. First, I'm going to turn these off, so they're out of our way just for a minute. And I'm going to show you how to turn them on in a second. So, if you listen,
unbox and review Maki Koro.
I got some audio work to do on this thing. My mic's buzzing a little bit, and look at this. So, it's down, it just, look at those envelopes. I have like non-existent envelopes. Okay, I like that mix because I think it gives me a lot of volume and not much ground floor. I mean, you're going to hear a little bit more ground floor when I turn up the volume here. But I have to, really, you try to get the audio between 6 and 12 every time. So I had to turn up my audio a lot because I record it pretty quiet to get rid of the room noise. But when I slam that box down, it just, look at those envelopes. I have like non-existent envelopes. And then, there we go. Now that's my target. Let's see, let's listen to my line. Now this line right here is 0. And it has to do, okay, and I'm very comfortable with that ground floor, at least to my headphones. It sounds pretty good. Interested to know if my mic's loud enough for the, I'm going to turn it up a little bit actually, for the live stream. See if that helps anybody. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is that I need to actually cut off the part that's not any good here. Scrub through there. Okay. The Tech Dive AV Club, I'm Adam, and we're going to do an okay, so I want to cut that beginning out. Hello, welcome to Tech Dive AV Club, I'm Adam, and we're going to do a nice opportunity tutorial. Hello, welcome to Tech Dive AV Club, I'm Adam, and we're going to do a nice... And Steven didn't perfectly center this when he made it, so I always have to come in and crop it out a little bit and center it. Hello, welcome to Tech Dive AV Club. I'm Adam, and we're going to do a nice opportunity tutorial on audio envelopes. So this is for Vegas Pro 16. I got a movie studio version coming out as well. So for the way to do audio envelopes, first off, what are audio envelopes? Well, they're these. You may have never seen these before. These are actually really convenient when you need them. So let me show you. Let me turn down my desktop audio a little bit so that way when you hear my voice and the pop, hopefully it won't. I didn't cover this in my everything's video, but I need to next time. Next time I do an everything video. And I'm going to show you how to turn them on in a second. So, if you listen,
unbox and review.
So if you're wondering why I'm watching this entire video, it's because I have been bitten so many times by assuming I know what's in the video and I know what's going to happen. And I recorded this yesterday. I don't remember if I just accidentally burped really loud. I don't remember if I don't know if there's like a mic hit that's going to cause everything to peak with all the leveling I've done. That's changed something. So it's always good to watch everything if you can in real time. There's so many times I have not had the ability to watch. I've scooted this thing up down here because the amount I'm editing, it just doesn't really, it doesn't let you edit well in real time. But
Maki Koro,
I got some audio work to do on this thing. My mic's buzzing a little bit, and look at this. So I had to turn up my audio a lot because I record it pretty quiet to get rid of the room noise. But when I slam that box down, it just, look at those envelopes. I have like non-existent envelopes.
Box.
And then when I say envelopes, I mean peaks. Like, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It's just boom compared to the rest of it. Like, the rest of it is so small. I'm gonna have to. It's already artificially turned up. And my
Unbox and review.
But that is just so loud. Okay, I haven't done something very important. I need to save it. File, save as. It's not one of my Udemy things. I need to go to. Oh, I need to make a new thing. So projects, new audio envelopes tutorial, and then save, and then I sometimes cheat and just name things pet names or cheap names or project names, but naming it what you're actually doing is definitely the best way to go. I hate myself every time I don't do that. So I don't want to have to turn down the whole thing. Or one thing I do, I'm much happier with my streaming. You can't see it for in the preview, but it's a lot more clear. My streams are not my streams, but my captures are. I've increased my bitrate a lot, and that really helped for OBS. So the next thing I'm gonna do is put a bit of sharpening on it, and the reason why I do that is because I'm trying to show everybody some letters and you know, do some not letters, but some instructions that are really tiny, and so a little bit of fuzz. I like to sharpen it beyond realisticness just a touch, because it actually makes it a bit easier to read, because it artificially tightens up all the letters there. Sharpen, and I throw a light sharpen on it, the preset, but really I turn it down to just under 1 because I want it barely there. And now I don't know where I was. Now this line right here is 0, and it has to do with the volume of your track over time.
So what you can do is right click and add a point, and then look at this. Now you have a point here at the beginning, and that slowly fades to here, and now the volume is much lower. You can also raise it past that original point and artificially raise the volume with these envelopes. So it gives you some headroom on both sides. So what I'm going to do with these, and what a lot of people do, is they'll use them for fading, slowly fading in or slowly fading out of music while someone's talking. So a nice easy way to kind of tweak your audio on the fly a little bit and make it less noticeable. What I'm going to do is right click that point, I'm going to right click that point, right click that point. Now I have 4 points. I'm going to scoot this one very, very close to my event there, and then leave this one at the end of my event, and I'm going to leave this very, very close. I want this to suddenly fade down, and then suddenly fade back up. So I'm going to make a little box for it, see? I make this fade down so much. Now, let's listen to it.
That's what speeding it up's for. One reason it's kind of dangerous to speed it up is because there's some of the real-time effects on the audio, so I could pre-render out the effects and hear it after I've sped it up, but you can't hear the real-time effects on the audio. So all the volume and compressing stuff I've done, I can't hear it. I'm pretty solid, pretty sure that my levels are good, so I'm going to take the risk and just watch it faster because I want to move on to the next one.
My speed at 11.7 decibels, that's a lot of peaking. So I'm going to turn it down 12 decibels, see what happens. Ooh, see, that one didn't peak. I finally got to where it wasn't peaking. So it's so loud, it's just so loud. And ready. So, but now it's subtly not so loud. So that's very helpful. A great way to do some on-the-fly audio fixes. See, if you look throughout here, there's a couple of spots where right there, right there, right there, where I just can't help but slam the table. And using audio envelopes is a great way to fix that. Thanks for watching. We have lots more tutorials on the way. I know some of you guys have asked for a keyframing tutorial, and you've asked for a sky replacement tutorial. I'm working on both of those as well. I'm also currently working on the Udemy tutorials, and I'm trying to crank all this stuff out as fast as I possibly can. This is a Maki Koro review on a gaming channel, which you can find links from our channel if you're interested. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Boom. There we go. So I always make sure
I'll see you next time.
I don't have just a whole bunch of me. YouTube counts your watch time, and they count it as a percentage, and so if you have a whole bunch of just trailer video that people aren't watching, it actually hurts your percentage watch time, and I'm assuming that has to do with how the algorithm calculates it, because they can't just weight pure watch time alone, because when they did that, Minecraft videos were the only thing that everybody got shown because their watch time was huge. The percentage is the only way that makes sense, and I'm sure it's weighted heavily towards, like, I'm sure they have like 90% is the whole percent, because they know that the trailer end of the videos are on a lot of them. I don't know. I'm sure they've had some stopgaps for that, but for me to be safe, I try to make sure it's just the facts. I try to go for 100% watch time. So I'm going to scroll over here. You don't always have to make a new project for everything. So back in broadcasting days, well, broadcast still exists, but it's so different now. Oh my gosh, it's so different. So what they were teaching us in school is that we had to start everything on the 30-second line. So we'd have to go in here into, that's 15 seconds, 30 seconds. We'd have to start everything on right here, scroll in and make sure it starts right on it. And you'd get your project counted off if it wasn't right on the 30-second line. And you'd have to put SMPTE bars in and a test beep to set volume. And the reason why is because they actually had to roll everything. They couldn't just cue something up or launch something. They actually had to roll everything. So this may still be the case. I've not prepared a broadcast commercial. I've done mostly web work. But with web work, that doesn't matter at all. So if you're ever doing broadcast work, just ask the broadcaster that you're giving it to, like, do you need the 30 seconds beforehand, and then actually edit it that way. You can put it 30 seconds beforehand. You can put the SMPTE bars, and you can put the test volume tone. That way they can have that come up there. They can set the test volume and the SMPTE bars, and then they can video switch it right on the 30 with a timer, and they know exactly what to do, and your commercial comes on at the exact right time. People are moving away from that kind of stuff. So if that still exists, it's not going to exist much longer. People still use video switchers and stuff like that, but you can have things preloaded up in so many different ways now. So I like to go ahead and just start a second project sometimes instead of making a template. So I could save this as a template and then redo it again, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to do a project that's near identical. I recorded it in the same settings, in the same scenario. It's the Movie Studios version of it. What am I doing? Yeah, I'm going to give it a little bit of space. And so because I put the effect on the track, the audio effect is still on this one. But you can't hear me talking. Okay, so like I said, though, you can't hear. So I got to make sure there's nothing that changed, but in general it should be the same. 16 Platinum tutorial on audio envelopes. So if you've ever been wondering, how do I adjust audio on the fly? For example, now the audio is already perfect right there, so I just got to figure out where I start. Hello, welcome to... Man, I'm pretty abrupt there. Okay, let's try that again. So a lot of times what you can do too is you can see where your first big envelopes happen, right? When you first start talking, and if there's a pause again, you start talking again. One of those first places where you're going to say hello, right? Where you're going to have started the tutorial. The problem is because I choke my audio so much in the recording to artificially kind of boost the quality of my microphone, I lose some of those waveforms, and that's an artifact. That's not Vegas' problem. That's an artifact of the way I'm doing it. I'm recording it very quietly on purpose, just to get the minimum in. Hello, welcome to Tech Dive AV Club. So I could wait quite a while. Hello, welcome to Tech Dive. Alrighty, so now I got that there. I'm going to run over here. I've already edited this, so grab, copy. Never do anything twice. As a rule of anything with computers, never do anything twice. Never write a line of code twice. Never record the same video twice, unless it's bad and you need to redo it. Hello, welcome to Tech Dive AV Club. This is Adam. I'm recording a Movie Studio 16 Platinum tutorial on audio envelopes. So if you've ever been wondering, how do I adjust audio on the fly? For example, instead of having to slowly fade something up or fade something down and cut the audio into a little, and give it a look. It's linked from our page, from our Tech Dive AV Club homepage. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Alrighty. Hello, welcome to Tech Dive AV Club. This is Adam. I'm recording a Movie Studio 16 Platinum tutorial on audio envelopes. So if you've ever been wondering, how do I adjust audio on the fly? For example, instead of having to slowly... I feel like I made a mistake in this one. I can't remember. I feel like I made a mistake that I thought, I'm going to have to edit that out tomorrow. And it's tomorrow, and I don't remember where it is. So I get to watch the whole thing. Yeah. Fade something up or fade something
Down and cut the audio into little pieces, or to put things on different track and have the volume low on one track and high on one track. Those are great ways to do it sometimes. Sometimes that is the best way to edit the audio. But sometimes you got one continuous track and you just got a couple of things you want to tweak.
It's less exciting to watch yourself edit. Let's see. I mean, watch the tutorial that you just made for the 4th time while you've already made it twice. Let's see. I noticed some people jumping on. I've got a compressor on my audio, and so it'll get louder when I just hit play when I don't have it sped up. But when you have it sped up, your live rendering effects don't get live rendered anymore. So you can only do that at real time. But if I pre-rendered it, then I could hear the volume change I've done in my track effect. I'm doing the second. I'm editing 2 Vegas tutorials, my movie studios and my pro version of the same thing. But people like to search for the exact software they have, and I get that. So I'm trying to do a tutorial for each software. But I've already done all the hard work on this one, so I've added a compressor in here. I won't recap the whole time, I promise. I've added a compressor here where I've increased the volume a whole lot, but I started with that 10-1 compression, and that works pretty good for my Snowball mic, and I record it pretty quiet on purpose, which is why you can't see the waveforms very well. But I think there's a mistake in here, and I gotta watch it to make sure there's no mistake.
Audio on the fly. For example, instead of having to slowly fade something up or fade something down and cut the audio into little pieces, or to put things on different track and have the volume low on one track and high on one track, those are great ways to do it sometimes. Sometimes that is the best way to edit the audio. But sometimes you got one continuous track and you just got a couple of things you want to tweak, whether or not you want the music to fade up or fade down behind you, or whether or not you want the, just to fix something. So let me show you what I got to fix here. So if you listen to my audio,
Oh, a comment.
I'm doing a shut up and sit down ripoff to do a Maki Koro review on our gaming channel, and the audio recorded is extremely quiet. And I recorded it quiet on purpose, but there's some problems. When I slam the table, it's loud. So first, there is a tutorial on how to use the track compressor.
So I've not noticed that Vegas 16 is more laggy in the preview window. I've not had that issue, but I can see a lot of things that could cause that. There's a lot of things that could cause that, so I don't know exactly. It could be that if you're using a different computer, there could be settings changes that you're not aware of in between the 2 versions. But I've not noticed 16 being laggier in the preview window. 13 was laggy in the preview window. 13 had a lot of issues. I hated 13. I was on the fence. I was considering switching. But let's see. I also noticed that Vegas 16 is twice as much RAM. Uses twice as much RAM. It very well might, and that's actually a good thing. What originally happened was with older Vegases, they actually had them capped for your computer so it wouldn't use a lot of RAM, but it had a whole lot of disk usage because of that. Because if you can't use a lot of RAM, you have to use more disk. And the more disk usage you have, the more you're competing with your other disk usage using the video. I saw a huge amount of stability increase when I started using 2 separate disks to edit my video off and run the editing software off of. But now they're trusting that you have more of an editing computer, so they're allowing it to use more RAM, and that's super helpful. That they've made that change, and that's no one's told me that. I'm just assuming that's why they've done it, because it makes a lot of sense. And now you can edit off the same disk, especially if you've got an SSD. But you can edit off the same disk so much more reliably now. And I've noticed a lot less crashing because there's more RAM. So it uses more RAM, but there's a reason it uses more RAM. There's a good reason.
One continuous track, and you just got a couple of things you want to tweak, whether or not you want the music to fade up or fade down.
Thank you for the question.
I'm doing a shut up and sit down ripoff to do a Maki Koro review on our gaming channel, and the audio recorded is extremely quiet. And I recorded it quiet on purpose, but there's some problems. And when I slam the table, it's loud. So first, there is a tutorial on how to use the track compressor. I'm not going to talk about that today, but I just know that this is probably what I have to do to get my audio where I want it. And I know that this is the compression I want for my microphone. This is stuff I already know. But this is one way to increase the volume. Well, welcome to Tech Dad Game. So I already got it between 3 and 12. That's exactly where I want my audio. But that means that this. Well, welcome to Tech Dad Game. Right here. Boom, peaks at 3.2. Look at that. And review. Now that time I was at 6. So one way I can do this is fix this. Is to go to Tools, Audio. Wait, sorry. Insert. Audio envelopes. My bad. Not Tools. Insert. Audio envelopes. And then. Oh, can you not do that for?
Oh, that's right. That's right. I didn't have the track selected when I did it, so I look like a chump here.
Boom, peaks at 3.2. Look at that. And review. Now that time I was at 6. So one way I can do this is fix this. Is to go to Tools, Audio. Wait, sorry. Insert. Audio envelopes. My bad. Not Tools. Insert. Audio envelopes.
And then I can't do it. And then I can't do the effect. Okay.
But I already got it between 3 and 12. That's exactly where I want my audio. But that means that this. Well, welcome to Tech Dad Game. Right here.
So I gotta figure out.
3.2. Look at that. review. Now, that time I was at 6. So, one way I can do this is fix this, is to go to Tool.
Okay, tools is also wrong. Let me go back to normal right here. It's at 3.2. Look at that.
And review.
Now, that time it was at 6. So, one way I can do this, is fix this, is to go to Tools, Audio, Insert. So yeah, that's the big debacle there. And then learn something new every day. Okay. So what I want to do, okay, that was supposed to be a visual cue to myself, the clapping, but I couldn't see it because my waveforms are so small. Gonna make sure I edit this out. Okay, there we go. There we go. Past me was smart. So what I want to do is, and also repeated itself, I want to highlight this. What I want to do is I want to highlight this. Go to Control
S
Insert,
is your best
Audio
friend.
Envelopes, Volume. Now here I have. There we go. That's all I wanted to do. The way I can do this is fix this is to go. So what I want to. Okay. So there we go. So what better transition than now that time it was at 6. So what I want to do is okay, let's get rid of this
And review.
now that time it was at 6. So I missed my waveform. Time it was at 6. But it's not worth recording it that loud because my audio is sounding so much better lately. So what I want to do is so there's definitely a cut there, but I think everyone will forgive me for that. So what I want to do is I want to highlight this, go to Insert, Audio Envelopes, Volume. Now here I have my audio envelope. If you notice this, I can right click and hit Add Point. Now this I can scoot along, I can make the volume rise to increase the volume, or I can make it fall to decrease the volume. So you can see with this being a fade, an audio, how this can easily be helpful. So if I want to get rid of this boom right here, I can right click.
Now, I have this one right there at no volume change. I can have this one drop off really quickly. I want it to be subtly noticeable. It's not I've done a volume change, but I'm really more looking to make sure that one falls at 0. And so I'm going to scoot it over. You see, it'll tell you exactly what the volume is on that little drop down on your mouse. And I want this down like this. Now you see, when we listen. It's a down rip off where we unbox and review. But that little boom right there. And review is now showing us what power we're playing at 10 volume change. But I really more looking to make sure that one falls at 0. And so I'm going to scoot it over. You see, it'll tell you exactly what the volume is on that little drop down on your mouse. And I want this down like this.
Thank you so much for watching. This has been a Movie Studio 16. Okay, so did I put that effect on the track? I didn't. I put it on the clip. Oh, it's okay. Copy. Paste event attributes. Paste event attributes. There we go. Problem fixed. Subscribe if you're looking for more tutorials like this one. I'm working on Udemy how to edit series right now. I'm hard at work at that. I know some of you guys have asked me for a keyframing tutorial. I'm also working on that. Some of you guys have asked me for a sky replacement tutorial, and I'm also working on that. So I got those two things coming down the pipe soon. And hard at work at a lot of things. If you want to see this Maki Koro review, you can go to our gaming channel and give it a look. It's linked from our page, from our Tech Dive AV Club homepage. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. There we go. Okay, I did it. That's it. I edited those two. So I'm going to grab the first one, and then I'm going to render it out. I'll go ahead and start the render. Well, I can't start the render because I'm live streaming, and that's going to get rough. So always make sure to save before you render. Then render as. I'll show you what I'm going to render it as. So for these, I do 1080p, 30 frames a second, because that is similar to the OBS codec. It's an MP4. I don't know exactly. I need to learn more details about the OBS codec, but I know they use an MP4 container. But I don't know if they use the exact YouTube one, but I definitely need to use the YouTube one for YouTube. So I'm going to use this and then this, and I'm going to use AMD one because I have an AMD, big old AMD graphics card in here. So there's no reason to not let it work. I got to name this one Pro, so I know which one it is. And then I'm going to put it in my project location. I like this button a lot. Oh my gosh, I like this button a lot. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to render out that one. I'm going to render out this one and name it Movie Studios, and then you'll see them on the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for the questions as well.